financial or legal advisor.
Welcome, everybody, to the Nourish Your Soul Show. I am Lady Sevante Wolkin, and I am so thrilled about today's show. It feels a little personal because I have been in the throes of experiencing, expressing, and bringing my gifts out to the world. And how I've been able to do that has been through the platform that our guest, Loretta Franco from Brave Healer Productions, has brought to not only me, but to several other healers and way showers. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to share with all of you who this woman is and what she brings to the world. We talk about legacies and icons on this show, and certainly we've had our full and fair share of them over the years, both here and on Zeta Global Radio. And sometimes we need to look at these emerging leaders who are making their way and making a big footprint and blueprint into the world of healing. And this world certainly needs it. And it's certainly an honor to have her here. So I can go on and on about her. We're going to be talking about all and who she is for the next hour. But I will just briefly say that Loretta Franco is the foundress of Brave Healer Productions. And she is, when I say multiple, we're talking 60 plus at this point, Amazon bestselling author. She's a publisher, author herself. And I loved reading in her bio that she has a 3rd degree black belt. I'm going to want to know all about that. But she is a true badass, and I welcome her to the show to share all her gifts with all of you and to learn more about this woman who's making a huge stride in the literary world. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. I don't think I've received a better intro than that ever, girl. So thank you so much for that. You're giving me goosebumps already. Let's go.
Oh, I take that as a thank you. Real honor. Well, you know what? The show's all about nourishing your soul. So if I've nourished you in some way, it's a payback for how I've been so personally nourished by coming into your orbit. And you know, here I've been an author on many times over. People know I have the Food Healing Oracle decks and smoothie books and children's books, but it's more than that. So I want to give people sort of like, who is the woman behind the magical curtain? And here you are. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I think the thing that you said earlier that I love the most that I want to repeat is this is legacy work. And that feels like big potatoes to me, big potato stuff. So just again, thank you. Thanks for having me and just letting me speak about this. I get jazzed.
Well, it's a wonderful platform to share here at Nourish Your Soul. And what started the show out was really talking more about my teachings, and it's expanded into so much more. And getting a perspective of our guests on how one nourishes your soul personally. And you may be able to share professionally, and here you're nourishing so many other people and bringing their works to life. But this is a show to share about how you personally nourish your soul emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And what does it mean to do that? Maintain this incredible career, create the legacy, and sleep great at night. Big balancing act, right?
It is. I think it's the joy that I prioritize no matter really what I'm doing. And I wasn't always really great at that. So it was a journey to get there. I'm a retired holistic physical therapist, and so I had a 30-year career in helping other people feel better, literally, mostly physically, but I quickly realized that nourishing piece had to happen in all the ways, not just in the body. So, I kind of signed up for this journey early and have been on that lifelong journey. But what it meant to me later, I had a few wake up calls, a few. And they come in layers, they come in stages. But
I call them knocks on the door. Big knocks and little taps, and then sometimes some big knocks.
Yeah. And so does it sound corny to say, well, writing, of course. But for me, since I was 15, I've been scribbling notes in journals. And when I gave myself the space to do that, that was nourishing beyond anything I ever even really realized. And then later in life, it became even more important. And then later, it became a channel. And then later, it became the way I'm leaving my legacy, like the layers of starting in that little blue and white polka dotted diary with the little silver lock on it that I would lock up so tight every time, and now to like, hey, here's my life. Go ahead and read about it.
You just brought a flashback to me from when I had my Holly Hobby diary with the little locket. I don't even remember that it was even like my brain storage until you just, broke that open.
Oh, believe it or not, I kept it. And I should have had it today for show and tell, but I don't. But I have a box of journals that I've kept from way back then, and back corny poems about boys and life, and and today it's still corny poems about boys, but there's other things in there too.
Well, a lot of people have told me, and I can speak for myself, that when we come from, and everyone has different backgrounds in their upbringing, but it's such a wonderful place of solace when we're not feeling understood, that we are somehow being understood when we put pen to paper. Somehow there's some magical piece happening. And I just wonder, and I'm asking you here, and I've asked others as well, who are prolific authors, best-selling celebs, all that good stuff. When they grew up, was there a spiritual moment, an awakening, a greater alignment, there's greater more than what we see? I just wondered where that came into being, because you said you were a holistic physical therapist, and you were kind of traveling in these metaphysical worlds, it seems. Just kind of when it opened up for you, and if that was part of your upbringing, or if something happened in your world that kind of led you there.
Well, oh gosh. No, it came much later in my life.
Okay.
So I wish I could say to you that I was connected with that intuition in a powerful way, but the childhood was rough, and I'm grateful for every second of it, because it's how I created the me that is here with you today. But it was not until I was an adult where I had to kind of get the slap in the face a little bit and be a little bit forced into trusting myself for once, and even understanding what that meant in terms of connecting with my body and hearing the messages and listening. And it's interesting because you're asking me this question. I'm thinking about that entire physical therapy career. Yeah. And I've been asking myself in my mind in the last minute, did you have it then? And I would say, well, a little. But it wasn't until a little bit more recently that I woke up into the channel of words that I am today.
Yes.
So it came as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked that, because here you are, and we will get into Brave Healer and how that came to be. We have plenty of time to talk about that. But when I think and kind of do a quick scan of all your book titles, and some of them are like, very prolific and, for people who've been walking the path, and some are for like the vanilla, just waking up and understanding who they are and the greater. And it's like, wow, you really have to understand your content. So somewhere you're grokking and integrating all this as you go along. You're like, yep, that's a fit. Yep, I want to publish that. Yep, the world needs that. Just like as we'll talk about the book I'll be doing later with you, that so you have to have some discernment, and that takes a little bit of like, walking the talk for a bit.
It was the awareness practice that allowed me to be open and curious. That's the gift I've always had. Since the very beginning of the first career, I was practicing body awareness. I was practicing mind awareness. I was practicing noticing the miracles of life and then being curious about how others were talking about what was possible. So, you've heard it before. We're here to wake the world up to what's possible for healing. Mm-hmm. And the more I dabbled in my own career, we take continuing education. We have to for our license. And so I was learning all kinds of fun things. But I was also open to all the rest of the fun things that you couldn't get CEUs for, right? I wanted to understand past lives, and I wanted to understand everything there was to know, because sometimes I feel like I'm a translator. I'm open to the practical stuff, and I'm open to the stuff that people love to call alternative. And I want everyone to know what's possible. You might have been to 10 doctors and you can't find the solution yet. Well, don't give up, because there's, ask yourself, what else is possible? Who else do you need to talk to today that might have the answer to that? Oh my gosh, so many possibilities.
What you just said is sort of that creed that everyone should follow. Just as you're climbing that ladder, don't give up on the last rung. Or just as you're walking up that mountain, that last step could be the one that just gets you to summit. It's really just keep going, Nemo, isn't it?
Well, this is where you allow me to go into my martial arts training. You mentioned it.
I literally was going to ask that next. I love it.
Well, one of the tenets of Taekwondo, which is the martial art I practiced for over 14 years, was perseverance. Indomitable spirit was another. And so I have trained for decades in a mindset that is a no give up mindset. Like the good stuff is after you've failed the 100th time. The good stuff is in your discomfort zone. So I've learned to play there and definitely not give up. It's kind of gone beyond that now for me. I'm curious about that too.
What led you to that? Was there, and you can be as open or, as you want, or just give us the thumbnail sketch, but did someone say, you know what, I got to do that. I want that for protection. I want that I need that. Like, what brought you to that world? Because that's not an everyday person does that. I don't think. It's not an yeah.
Yeah, my son was 5.5, and we were looking for an activity for him to get into, to meet other kids, to get out there and get social. And we had looked at different things, and we showed up at a Taekwondo class to watch. So we were watching from the door inside the room. And after it was finished, we walked out, and he looked up at me and I said, hey, what do you think? You want to do this? And he looked up at me and he said, I'll do it if you do it. I was 38 years old, and he and I trained for 6 years together and earned our black belts together. He was 11 and the youngest in the school at the time, and we were the only mom-son team to ever do that together in that particular school. So why did I do it? Because I was trying to help my kiddo, and then, he got to that achievement and he was done, and I was like, I don't think I'm done. So I eventually went on to second and then third degree ranking. I kept with it. Yeah, so there's the short story of that. I wrote a whole book about it, so you guys can read the book.
All right, what's the book called? Let's just plug that right now.
It's called Living, Healing, and Taekwondo. And it was really that journey of the 6 years. And getting back to the journaling for a second, this is so brilliant for people who love to journal. You have whole books in your journal. You have whole books in there and you just don't realize, right? So when I sort of woke up to like, oh my gosh, this is the book. I had already written most of it in my journals because I was documenting everything I was going through in those years. And so it was really, really awesome to be able to go back to my journal pages and go, oh, here it is. Okay, just time to organize the words.
As you were talking about you and your son, it reminded me of my daughter, who at that time wanted to learn piano. And so one of the parents has to go and learn everything. So when she's practicing, you know what they're doing. And she continued on from 3 years old to 11 and then just stopped. And there was a part of me that just felt like, well, I don't want the music to end. And so I didn't continue on with piano, but I did marry a music producer. So somewhere in there, like I kept the music alive. But it's amazing. You know, we say the souls of our children pick us, right? And so there is so many beautiful lessons that they're here to teach us. So I'm glad that we both got that lesson through our lineage.
Oh, isn't that true? They are here to teach us for sure. My little dude back then for sure had a few things to teach me. My daughter continues to, and yeah, that's been an amazing journey.
I'm excited for people, and you have a very large community and a fan base, and all of us really respect you so much. So I'm excited for people to hear this interview because I feel like they may hear something new or another side to you, because you're always out there advocating for everybody and making them shine. And this is just an opportunity for us to really get to know you personally and to see if there's some ahas some Laura-isms that you are imparting just by you living that other people can embrace and go, okay, now I get it. And so I think as we travel along this journey, we have more to look forward to. Are you a fan of doing interviews? Is this something that you thrive at? Because a lot of authors tend to be a little bit introspective and not want to be out there. They'll write it, but they're not really wanting to throat chakra up. And so it's nice to meet people who kind of can do all of it, and I respect the ones who don't.
I love that question. You know why? Because I think it's part of evolution of finding your voice. And I think I'm going to get them all right, but I think there's a 5-part stages to this. The first is journaling, when you actually decide to feng shui your soul by moving the words out of you and onto the paper. That is an awareness practice that begins the process. You then get to look. Sometimes I write in my notebook and go, whoa, do I think that? Okay, awareness, right? Awareness is key. But then if you read it out loud to yourself, you're putting the vibration of your voice to the words and you're hearing it. And all of a sudden, that's another awareness. Sometimes your why makes you cry when you hear it out loud. Then maybe somebody reads it who is not you. And then all of a sudden you get to this other stage of, oh my gosh, is it good enough for someone else to even read? And then we publish. And publishing is like that leap of, whoa, now it's just not my friend, but now we have to deal with the healing process that's going on. Am I worthy for the world to read it, for whoever to read it, right? And then comes the speaking and the microphone. So I just brought you through this progression of what I feel can be where you land in this place, loving interviews, loving to practice speaking your truth and your purpose and your mission and your legacy. So yes, I love it. I didn't used to. I used to be extremely introverted and painfully shy.
Really? What's your astrological sign?
I'm an Aquarius.
Yes. Oh, so is my daughter. I just wondered if certain signs are, introspective, like Cancerians. I'm a Cancerian, but I'm an extrovert, but others like to hide in that shell and not really go anywhere. So I just wondered if there was any relevance there. All right, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are actually going to dig into the world of what Brave Healer Productions is, why it's become so successful, how you can be brought into this orbit, and so much more. You're listening to Nourish Your Soul Show. We are here with Laura Franco. I am Sevante. We'll be back in a moment.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
You know, when my grandson takes a long car trip, he listens to audiobooks. A long drive seems faster, and sometimes he doesn't want to get out of the car because the book isn't finished. With over 100,000 books, Audible.com is one of the best places to get audiobooks. You can listen to a bestseller anytime, anywhere. Audible.com, your destination for the widest selection of audiobooks. Join millions of listeners. Just go to the Audible.com on HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click.
You are nature. You are earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Spend 5 months mastering all elements in a sacred online space and open up your wellness to new levels, facilitated by Sevante, founder of the Center for Intuitive Food Therapy, and her gifted colleagues. You'll enjoy teachings and healings in multiple modalities for infinite wellness. Limited spots available and filling now, this August through December at foodhealingdeck.com.
Reach your health and fitness goals. Whether you want to lose weight, learn to dance, build muscle, or just live healthy, Beachbody gives you unlimited access to the nation's most popular fitness and weight loss solutions. Visit our advertiser page and click on Beachbody now.
Take your mind, body, and spirit to the next level of healing support with me at deniseflood.com. Together, we'll create your self-care toolbox using a layered wellness approach to deepen your relationship with soul. My unique program, Change Your Frequency, Change Your Life, is designed to lift your vibrational presence to create heaven on earth. Join the light bearers at deniseflood.com and access your free resources.
Hi, I'm Krishna Das, and you're listening to the Nourish Your Soul Show,
where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back to Nourish Your Soul. Sevante here with Laura Franco, Creatress of Brave Healer Productions. Why don't we start with the title? Brave Healer Productions. You use Brave Healer and you use badass and badassery. So I love both, but I just want to let people know what is Brave Healer all about. And also the feather in your logo. That always intrigues me in the color. I want to know.
So many things. Okay. Well, so I believe everybody's a healer. You're either walking through the world taking responsibility for your awareness or not. And with that awareness, you can move into relationships with a healing energy or not. Everyone's a healer. It's just, where they are in the practicing of it. Brave Healer Productions. So productions, because I knew it was going to be several kinds of things. We're a publisher, but I have a mission to really support my authors in lots of different ways. I know from going through it multiple times with my own self-published books and then having a book deal with a publisher and then having an agent for a year. I've done a thing or two in this publishing world. I knew there was so much I wasn't taught and that I wanted people to have access to the ways, everything, all the resources that would help them be a successful author and healer and business owner. And I'm here to pay all that forward. So brave healer. I think when you say, yeah, I'm going to be a healer in the world, already you're a warrior for just choosing that path.
Yeah.
Because, that meant that well, not everybody does it, but to me, it meant that you signed up to do the work first, that you signed up to trailblaze it.
You're not on Wall Street. You're not making millions. Maybe some people are, but it's more of a passion and a divine dharma, I think.
Yeah. And so I want people to know that my healer authors are super brave. In fact, my first time published authors, do you know how much courage it takes to write your story for the first time for the world to read? That takes some brave.
I want everyone to hear that. Whoever's listening, whoever has that nudge, to really take that in, that when you're reading these amazing books, not everyone has been writing forever. Like what she just said is so important, because that is brave. And so many people I know, just getting ready for the book that I'll be doing with you, people are immediately go into fear. I've seen a lot of that going on. Yeah.
There's the fears. There's so many. Fear of not good enough is the biggest one. It's actually why I have the feather tattooed on my arm, and the feather is my logo. So that's a good little tie in there. This tattoo, it has some initials in it that remind me your fear is boring. Your fear of not good enough is boring. It's not about you. It's about the life you could change or even save if you would just get over yourself and share your story with the world, because your story is someone else's story also. You're giving someone else permission to be themselves and be okay with whatever story they have, and then to pursue life in a juicier way. The things we do when we share our words, oh my goodness. I mean, there is a story behind that, and I don't know if we have time for that story. I call it the Shirley story. But there have been things that have happened in my life that make me know for sure I'm not only meant to do this, but I'm meant to help you if you're feeling afraid. There's a way to share your story. There is a way, and it will change people's lives.
I think you need to tell it. Listen, we have 5 minutes. Can you
okay. I can. And I've told it so many times, and it does not get old. But back in 2016, when I founded this business, I had a stranger reach out on Facebook Messenger. This is how the story goes. And she said, I love that thing you wrote on Mind, Body, Green. I've been struggling. I'm a mom of 5, and I've had some depression. And I was just wondering, do you have any other things I could read?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at that message and going, well, yeah. I mean, I had written over 300 blogs at that point about self-care and healing, So I said, yeah, of course, give me a minute. And I went and found some links. I dropped them. She had a read. But while she was doing that, I actually stepped away and I wrote and dedicated a blog to her anonymously about self-care. And I asked my healer family to step up in the comments. I put that call to action in the blog. Hey, help my gal out. What love, what support, what advice would you have for her? And they did. And it was amazing. And I was able to drop that blog link back in the chat for her very shortly after her reach out. And I think she felt connection that she hadn't felt in a really long time, but we became friends. She signed up for a course. She wrote her first 2 blogs ever for the world after that about being a mom of 5 and how she moved through depression. But while all that was going on, what I didn't know until much later, she finally told me, is that she had actually been planning the suicide note she'd write to her husband and 5 kids during that time.
Oh my God, chills.
And it gives me the chills every single time I get to tell that story. How grateful am I to her that she was brave enough to reach out to me, to a total stranger. Do you have anything else I could read? And here we are now, how many years later in this business? And I'm telling you, Shirley, I love you. You are the reason I wake up every morning and get through my boring fears. because it's just, if that's the only thing I ever do with my writing, it will have been enough.
Well, I'm trying to hold back tears, but I think about my past partner. It's certainly public, but my past partner did commit suicide. And I think about how he could have just written, like, if he just reached out like Shirley, like if he just did a few more things, but he just didn't. So like, I really see, look, you just never know. One story, one person, one impact can make the difference. It's actually, as a result, many things changed after his suicide. That's when I got my first radio show, where I needed a voice to talk. I needed a way to express my pain. I would bring on sleep experts. I would bring on, depression experts. I literally just started bringing on anybody who can help me get through that moment in time. So that actually started my broadcasting career years ago. So you just never know where life is going to take us, right? And by whom? And one person at a time.
Exactly right. I want everybody who has been a little bit afraid to write their story or share their story to understand that, your words are going to change the world. They may even save a life. And I'm really grateful I get to tell you that story. Not all of you will have that stranger be brave enough to reach out. Like, I get to tell you that story. How cool is that, right? But you need to know it anyway.
Wow. More to come with Lord of Franco, Brave Healer Productions. You're listening to the Nourish Your Soul Show. Back in a moment.
DNA are unique building blocks of life, and now there's something to nutritionally support you. Happy DNA Candy. At happydnacandy.com, you'll find unique, delicious, organic, GMO-free candy made directly from plant DNA. Nutrients so immediately absorbable, you will feel the difference fast. The right nutritional support helps energy, stamina, and aging. What are you waiting for? Go to happydnacandy.com now.
Shh. Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
Constant Contact and your small business make a perfect fit for marketing. They give you what you need to succeed. Fast and easy email marketing at your fingertips. Visit the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on Constant Contact to start your marketing.
You are nature. You are earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Spend 5 months mastering all elements in a sacred online space and open up your wellness to new levels, facilitated by Sevante, founder of the Center for Intuitive Food Therapy, and her gifted colleagues. You'll enjoy teachings and healings in multiple modalities for infinite wellness. Limited spots available and filling now, this August through December at foodhealingdeck.com.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
I'm still taking in that last segment, so where's my sage? Where's my crystals? Just kidding. Oh, so beautiful. Welcome back to the show. Sevante here, talking to Laura Franco. So this empire we call collaborative book selling, best selling, international, all of this has transpired. I'm not going to say out of thin air. I wasn't there. I'm coming in, I don't know, book number 58 or so, but tell everybody a little bit about how it went from book number 1 to number 60 or wherever you are now. Right. It's quite a journey.
It's so much fun to be able to tell this story, and I'm still pinching myself, honestly. But, I had written a book or two before this all happened. I have 10 of my own solo books that I've written. I'm a poet. I've written 5 books of poetry and 5 books, we call them teaching memoirs, where I wanted to help people learn tools, with my career as a healer. And I had been in 4 or 5 collaborative books. Those books then were called anthologies, but I don't use the A word for what I do now. I think it's way more than an anthology, but I woke up on March 20th of 2020 dreaming this dream of putting my healers together because the world had just lost its hands-on people. And I wrote a little note in a Facebook group. I said, hey, the world just lost their healers. Let's write this book. Let's do the ultimate guide to self-healing. And I want you all to teach them a tool they can do at home right now. And 48 hours after I wrote that note, 24 people said, sure, I'll do that. And then 5 weeks after that, we birthed that onto Amazon to a #1 bestseller in multiple categories. And I was like, whoa, what just happened?
What was the name of that book? What was that book called?
The Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing. Oh, wow. And there are 5 volumes of that book now. So it didn't just happen that it was just the one, but I've been following the divine orders from the universe ever since that morning I woke up and wrote the note and followed that intuition I was having, that it was more than intuition. Do you ever have a moment where it feels so big in you, it makes you walk to the living room in your pajamas and type a note in a Facebook group? It moved me. Yes, it was fantastic. And here we are 60 collaborations later. These are expert collaborations with authors all over the world in more than a dozen countries, who are offering their vulnerable stories, but they're also stepping up as the master teachers they are, and they're sharing a practical tool for the reader to practice whatever the theme of the book is. So back then it was self-healing, and we have a little bit of everything in those volumes.
Mm-hmm. And did you not only have the vision of it, but also kind of the layout, the format? Because that's a very unique way these books are written, and I don't know if all the books are written that way, but coming from a storytelling point of view is so unique and delicious, where people can just immediately get lost in the world of that person and just feel enveloped versus being spoken to. That's the way I'm perceiving it.
The way that I'm trying to support my authors as healer business owners is to teach them that if somebody doesn't know, love, and trust you first, they're not going to probably hire you to take them on that journey. Who are you, Laura, to tell me what to do to heal myself? Well, here's who I am. Here's some vulnerable stories about me to make you understand where I've been and what work I've done to get to this place of awareness that I'm in right now. Okay, I got you. Maybe now I will ask you to coach me, teach me, help me heal, And so the structure was very purposeful. I wanted people to understand who you are first and build the trust so that then they could come into this other part of the chapter where, you as an author have to switch and kind of turn into your master teacher and okay, here's what I want you to do, right? Oh. Try this. Let's try this practice. Let's do it. Let's have a practical experience with this. But again, why should I do what you're teaching? So many of the books I read, the authors step right up into master teacher without letting us get to know them at all.
Yeah, other than about the author.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that's just so lovely. And what was really nice is that I get a lot of bios, people who come on the show, and I read them, and it's I don't know, perfunctory, if I can use that word. And getting to read their book. I'll read everything. I remember when Dr. Gabriel Cousens came on, I read his book cover to cover. What an amazing, I have a lot of amazing people who've got lifelong stories, but really getting to know them, you're like, I've been there and I get it. And so, yeah, these little mini memoirs, are just wonderful. And for those of you who haven't, taken a dive into any of the books, now's your opportunity. And I've recently been in one, and it too went #1 in a billion countries. No, it's several countries, several topics, but this is how I came to know Laura, is through Angela Aurora Medway Smith and the Energy Healers Oracle. And how I came into this experience, I don't even remember, but it's been the best experience yet. And I've told people over and over, in fact, I just gave a presentation this weekend, had I met you, Laura, prior to me producing my Oracle deck books, and I would have done things so differently, and I've learned so much in just a short amount of time. So I'm grateful. But the storytelling piece is one that I think I'm pouring out my information in these decks, because every little download has a little bit of piece of me, but it's the way to really bring forward a certain personal expression. Sometimes, like we talk about the fears of really being seen. I couldn't even talk about the actual say the word suicide prior to, me really getting out there. And it takes a minute for you to be able to be vulnerable. And I think that, you're right, is where bravery comes in on all levels.
Brave Healer Productions, that's exactly why the word brave is in there. And I really want people to know that our publishing company, part of the mission is to hold that sacred healing space for your journey as you write. It's so important that your publishers and the people who are supporting the process get that piece.
Thank you so much. We're going to take one final break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about more ways to get involved. If you are feeling that nudge, that bravery within yourself to step up and step in and tell your story to the world, you're listening to Sevante here at Nourish Your Soul. We'll be back in a moment.
Take your mind, body, and spirit to the next level of healing support with me at deniseflood.com. Together, we'll create your self-care toolbox using a layered wellness approach to deepen your relationship with soul. My unique program, Change Your Frequency, Change Your Life, is designed to lift your vibrational presence to create heaven on earth. Join the light bearers at deniseflood.com and access your free resources.
Stuff. Where can I contain all of my stuff? How about this? The Container Store, the original storage and organization store. And I found their link on the healthylife.net advertiser page. They have containers for everything, including the kitchen, the bathroom, trash and recycling, traveling, spring cleaning, and dorm rooms. Just about everything you can think of to contain your stuff. The Container Store, right on the healthylife.net advertiser page.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
Get high-quality glasses, sunglasses, and prescription lenses at eyeglasses.com. Choose from over 250,000 items and 400 brands. Already have frames? Get replacement lenses. It's easy. Go to our advertiser page and click eyeglasses.com.
DNA are unique building blocks of life, and now there's something to nutritionally support you. Happy DNA Candy. At happydnacandy.com, you'll find unique, delicious, organic, GMO-free candy made directly from plant DNA. Nutrients so immediately absorbable, you will feel the difference fast. The right nutritional support helps energy, stamina, and aging. What are you waiting for? Go to happydnacandy.com now.
Hi, I'm Krishnadas, and you're listening to the Nourish Your Soul Show.
Radio your way. healthylife.net.
Welcome back. I hope you are feeling nourished. I feel that I have had emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual nourishment in this show and the journey I've been on with Laura DeFranco and Brave Healer Productions. So I mentioned earlier that I was part of this, and I'm so glad, by the way, you mentioned the difference or kind of that anthology versus collaborative. Collaborative books have become very popular these days, and I can see why, because it's just such many nuggets of nourishment that you could just get under one thematic energy. So I see why they're so popular. And when you were interviewing me actually for my chapter in Energy Healers Oracle, which is a phenomenal book. Angela Aurora Medway Smith is just queen. I just adore her. We just got to talking and I said to you, out of all these 50, 60 books, has anybody really focused on how do we eat? How do we nourish the body temple? And we're not just talking about food. Yes, food is a huge part. Obviously, that's a big part of my world as a food healer and a food scientist and a food oracle. But also food goes so much deeper, right? How are we feeding our thoughts? And how are we feeding our soul? And what does that look like on the mind, body, spirit level? What does that look like on the emotional, mental, physical, spiritual? And wouldn't it be great to allow one collaborative book of people to come in and figure out, tell you, share their stories on how to nourish the body temple? And anyways, I can take it from there, Laura.
and I got very, very excited is what I did. I said, no, like, yes, let's go. And I mean, back to the food specifically, I think that's been a frontier of mine to conquer, especially as we get busier. We tend to, not prioritize some of the literal food and drink nourishment that we should be, because we got to keep ourselves healthy. We need to be able to serve from that overflow, and it's not going to happen if we're not nourishing to the overflow point, here. But I was so excited about this. I think this is going to be an incredibly powerful expert collaboration where you all can come in and learn from the world's experts on these topics about how to do a lot of different things, right? You're talking to a lot of different kinds of experts who are going to share different stories, but also different tools. And yeah, I'm excited about this one a little bit.
Well, what I have seen in my journey with the Food Healing Oracle deck and the wisdom about food healing, it could have been in a book, it could have been in a movie, a video, a manual. How it came in through being an oracle is just how the platform was chosen. You pull a card and you say, what does my body need? And you can actually feed your chakras. But in my journey of doing this over the last 4 years, and I've been as far as the most woo-woo metaphysical world, and I've been with personal trainers who know nothing of that, but they're great with nutrition, and kind of everybody in between, people who have their own food disorders or even anger management issues, or they're going through a health challenge. It doesn't matter, but everyone has some sort of challenge with food. And my first question when I give a presentation is, how many of you have a great relationship with food? And not one person raises their hands. And I don't care how spiritually wonderfully packed their sessions are, people are still not making the connections. And I would think that this is a frontier in being brave, of like really looking at how this body is holding this soul and how we need to create longevity, and how are we going to do that? It's called with vibrational frequency. And what does that look like? It's the food that you're putting in. So yeah, I'm thrilled that you said yes and that you see the value in how important it is. I just think people just grab and go.
I can't wait to read this book. Food is survival, but how that gets tied into everything else when you grow up is, and so many people have so many different problems related to how that was introduced into their life from the very beginning. Oh my gosh, this is such a deep, powerful topic that's going to change lives. Thank you for partnering with me for this.
It's an honor. Well, time is short, and I want to make sure people know, because you have something very special coming up next year. And we talked off air, is it too early to talk about it? And the answer is no. I've been really knowing that there are people who know when they know they want to be somewhere. And I have stuff planned over the next couple of years. I come from an event producing background. Maybe that's why I'm used to 1 to 2 years out. But let's share this special event you have going on.
I appreciate it so much. The Brave Healer Writers Retreat. We're going to take 2 collaborative books worth of authors, about 48 of you, up to upstate New York in a beautiful Honors Haven Retreat Center. And we're going to have 4 nights and days of beautiful healing, writing, publishing, and business strategy experiences. So we're marrying all those things together. So the people who come to the retreat are going to retreat with master teachers and healers in my world, but they're also going to be published authors in one of 2 of the 24 publications that we create. So that's the short version of that one. And it's, of course, on the website for you guys.
So where's that website? I've been thinking about it, but just even in that 5-second pitch, I'm like, I've got to be there.
It's going to be so magical. I'm so excited. And as you know, maybe I meant to talk to you about it too as an event planner. These are big potatoes things you got to plan in advance, right? Yes. So we can't wait. But you can go to bravehealer.com, lauradefranco.com. Those will both get you there.
Okay, perfect. Laura Love, we have 1 minute left, and I give that minute to you. Whatever you want to share with the world at large, listening here.
Listen, I know the message. Everything has been said, done, written before, but not by you. Your brave words are going to change the world. You have to be brave enough to share them, and I am here to help you.
Oh, gosh. And I also got chills on that. She doesn't just say it, she talks it, she walks it, she's been there. And I'm one to say that I'm now part of the fold and a big fan. So if you're interested in even the book that we just talked about, High Vibrational Eating, you can definitely contact Sevante, Sevante, at nourishyoursoulshow.com. Again, you said Laura DeFranco, Brave Healer Productions. What's the website again? I want to repeat that.
bravehealer.com or lauradefranco.com.
Okay, great. Laura, thank you so much for taking time out of your world today to be here with our listeners. It's been wonderful. I knew it would. I hope to have you again back soon, and I appreciate all that you're doing. And truly, you are creating a legacy I'm glad to be part of.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, everyone, be well, stay nourished. Lots of love. Take care.
What if your food can talk? What would it say? Receive Mother Nature's healing wisdom for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual wellness at centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com. Feed your chakras, eat in unison with nature's 5 elements, and now receive a complimentary energy activation. To begin your journey, visit centerforintuitivefoodtherapy.com/activation. You'll never look at food the same way again.
If you're looking for unique items at affordable prices, then you should try Dream Product. From apparel to beauty, from shoes to therapeutic relief products, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Dream Products, and maybe your dreams might just come into reality.
Take your mind, body, and spirit to the next level of healing support with me at DeniseFlood.com. Together, we'll create your self-care toolbox, using a layered wellness approach to deepen your relationship with soul. My unique program, Change Your Frequency, Change Your Life, is designed to lift your vibrational presence to create heaven on earth. Join the light bearers at DeniseFlood.com and access your free resources.
Crystal Travel has a vast selection of flights and other travel options at the best industry prices. Visit the healthylife.net advertiser page and click on Crystal Travel to get your best travel deal now.
You are nature. You are earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Spend 5 months mastering all elements in a sacred online space and open up your wellness to new levels, facilitated by Sevante, founder of the Center for Intuitive Food Therapy, and her gifted colleagues. You'll enjoy teachings and healings in multiple modalities for infinite wellness. Limited spots available and filling now, this August through December at foodhealingdeck.com.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.